All right. Well, hi everyone. Greg Stultz here with ProLiteracy New Readers Press. Thank you for tuning in today. In the webinar description, I posed the question, how can you teach your students essential workplace skills to prepare them for job success? Well, over the next 55 to 60 minutes, we're going to explore a terrific resource from ProLiteracy New Readers Press that will help you do just that. Written at NRS level 3, reading level 4, 5. Career Power provides employability skills and academic skills through contextualized instruction using realistic workplace scenarios across a variety of in-demand career clusters. In today's session, we're going to use the Workplace Skills book. Now, I pulled all the topics we'll cover today from it. Some of the activities are straight from the lessons in the book. Some I tailored to make them more interactive. Well, as interactive as we can get on this Zoom session. The teacher's guide gave me some good suggestions, and I came up with a few ideas on my own as well. Now, as we walk through exercises and activities, I'm going to ask you to do two things. So you're going to be multitasking here. You're going to be on double duty. I want you to think like an instructor. How could I use this activity with my students? How might I change it to better meet my students' needs, my classroom needs? And at the same time, I want you to try to think like your students as we do or discuss some of these activities. Can I understand this? Can I relate to it? Do I see do I see how it can be applied to my personal experiences and my goals? Right. So, with a lot for you to do and a lot for me to cover, if you're ready, let's jump in. We're going to start with listening. Now, listening is easy, right? I mean, as long as you have ears that work, there's nothing to it. Sound comes in, boom, right? Or maybe not. There are two kinds of listening. What I just described is passive listening. But we want to do is to hone our not passive, but active listening skills, right? So, what then is active listening? Let's take a look and see what's in our listening toolbox. What does active listening look like? So, listening effectively means that we're asking questions, we're paraphrasing, we're paying attention to tone and body language, and we're using our body language to show that we understand. Let's drill a little deeper. Asking questions. One important tool for effective listening is to ask questions. Sometimes people don't say exactly what they mean, or they may not include all the information you need. You can ask questions to make sure you understand. This is straight out of lesson 1 from the book. And whenever you see something like this, and we'll talk about this a little bit more later, what does your classroom look like? And how do your students learn? How do they best learn? Are they more interactive? Do they work better independently? Do you have volunteers who might be willing to read aloud, right? What you don't want to do is single people out and force those who aren't comfortable reading aloud. All right, I want you to read next, right? But you may have volunteers, and that's great. Whatever you can do, some will relate to this, others won't. I leave that to you, of course. So we have an important tool, asking questions. Here's an example. Nyla works at the front desk of a hotel. Read what a hotel guest says to her and think about how asking questions could help Nyla understand the guest's point of view. right? Now, the instructions say, think about how asking questions could help her understand the guest's point of view. Of course, you can modify this, and it could be a group discussion. You might turn this into a pair exercise, right? For today, in the chat, type a question that could help Nyla understand this guest's point of view. Here's what the guest shared. We went on the tour you told us about. It wasn't quite what we expected. It was still fun, though. What question could Nyla ask that would help her to better understand what the guest meant by this? Dan, any responses?
Do you want me to read any of the responses,
Please.
Craig, or do you have?
Please.
Okay. What did not meet your expectations? What parts were fun for you? Which tour did you take? What did you enjoy? How could we have prepared you better for the tour? What would have made it a 5-star experience for you? What was it you were expecting? Things like that.
Super. Good. Paraphrasing the speaker's words and summarizing their concerns. A second tool for effective listening is to paraphrase the speaker's words. What does paraphrase mean? When you paraphrase, let's read on. When you paraphrase, you put the speaker's ideas into your own words. So here, right, we're looking for context clues, and there it is right in the sentence. When you paraphrase, you put the speaker's ideas into your own words. Then you repeat those ideas back to the speaker to check that you understood correctly. You don't repeat everything they say, you paraphrase only the important details that you want to make sure you got right. However, you might need to include points they hinted at but didn't clearly say. You might need to summarize their needs or concerns, not just their words. So we listen, we repeat what the speaker said in our own words to make sure we understood and to let the person know that we were paying attention, right? Here's an example. A hotel guest speaks to Nyla. As you read, think about how paraphrasing could help Nyla understand the guest's point of view. In the classroom, you could have students pair up for this. One would read the guest's statement, the other listens carefully and, without looking at the text, but just listening to her or his partner, responds as Nyla by paraphrasing to confirm understanding and the desired action. Right? So there were 2 towels in the bathroom. I had to use one to dry off when I came in out of the rain. Then I spilled my coffee and had to use the other towel to clean that up. Now I need to shower, but I don't have another towel. Okay. Possible response might be, boy, sounds like you've had a tough day. Let me get you 2 fresh towels. So, great chance for role play and pair work here. And another example from the book that would make for good role play and practice. This one in a dental office, a patient who's never been to the office calls, right? Think about how you could practice listening effectively and then answer questions. So here we could combine the two, right? Asking questions, paraphrasing. And here's the phone call. My daughter has been complaining that her teeth hurt. I thought it might just be her new tooth coming in, but she keeps mentioning it. Now she says she can't eat some things. Since our old dentist recently retired, we need a new dentist. Pretty soon, my daughter and I will also need a cleaning. Right? This could be another opportunity to role play, have some pair work done. Right? It could also be a chance for you to go in and ask some questions of your own. Right? For example, and answer this one in the chat. How old is the daughter? How old is the daughter? Any responses, Dan?
No, but my guess is she's quite young.
Why would you say that?
Oh, wait a minute. There are some, well, just because she's still growing teeth.
Ah,
Someone said she could be 10.
sure. Right. Now
Someone
she's
else said probably 6, younger, young enough to have new teeth coming in.
that's what I
Okay.
was thinking. If she's 32, that's a little creepy. Teeth coming in. Moving on. Let's talk about paying attention to tone, to body language. Wait a minute. I thought we're talking about listening. A third tool for effective listening is to pay attention to nonverbal communication. There are a lot of ideas out there, and there's data. They are all pretty close, but they say that roughly what percent of communication is nonverbal? Any guesses?
The numbers are large, from 25 to 95.
Well, if you guessed anywhere from 70 to about 93%, you're according to them, you're correct. Yeah, there's so much communication that happens that is nonverbal. Speakers use nonverbal communication in addition to words to express feelings. For example, let's say that you have a speaker who won't make eye contact with you. In the chat, what might that person be saying? Won't make eye contact with you. Any thoughts?
Yeah, they're nervous, they're shy, they have bad news to share, um, or it might be a cultural thing. Respect.
Huh. Uncomfortable, bored, lying. All of those are great ideas. What if they have their arms crossed? What are they saying to you?
Bored, angry, power move, closed minded, not receptive, closed off.
Sure. Hands on their hips.
May still be responding to the other one,
Ah,
but maybe not. Exasperated, a little bit of attitude. I don't trust you.
hmm, great.
Expecting something more.
Yeah. Challenging. Good. All good comments. What about that person who smiles with only their mouth instead of their whole face?
Can you demonstrate that? Okay. Insincere. Wait, Tony says maybe they're missing some teeth. No, I think it would be the opposite. Yeah, okay.
Sure. Pretending, insincere. And fidgety, making restless movements with hands or feet.
Someone said it must be Greg. I'm not sure which prompt they were responding to. Fidgety meaning nervous, uncertain, uh, don't know where the restroom is. Physiological issue.
Or anxious, sure. And the skills tip on the side, very important. And someone called that out with our first question, won't make eye contact. Not every gesture means the same thing in every situation. If a coworker is crossing her arms, she may disagree with you, or maybe she's just cold, right? Also, Eye contact sends different messages in different cultures. The person who doesn't make eye contact, if that person is maybe Chinese or Japanese, it's a show of respect, right? In Russian culture, if you lock eyes, right, then that could be issuing a challenge. So it's important sometimes to consider culture as well. Excellent. And this is an opportunity for more pair work. You could have students take turns saying that they are interested, angry, they don't care, they understand, they agree, they're confused, they're embarrassed, they're ashamed, sorry, lying, nervous, using only body language, right? They could go back and forth. The purpose of this activity and the point to drive home here is that we can tell people that we are listening or not listening and how we feel by the way we stand or sit, by what we do with our hands and our heads, and by the facial expressions that we make. A lot can be said without even opening your mouth. To make this exercise even more interactive, let's see, use your body language to show you understand. Tony is an IT support representative at a software company. After 6 months on the job, Tony has his first performance review with his supervisor with her supervisor, right? Tony could go either way there. As you read, think about how Tony could show his or her supervisor that he or she is listening, right? You could have a student read the supervisor's comments out loud while you or a volunteer plays the role of Tony, or maybe you want to be the supervisor and ask someone to play the role of Tony. And they would play that role by reacting to the supervisor's comments. Have the other students in the class watch, listen, and then be ready to share what Tony said to his or her supervisor with posture, gestures, and facial expressions, right? What did Tony say with body language that was good? What did he say that wasn't? If you decide to play the role of Tony, I would be, make obvious mistakes for the students to spot, right? Maybe you're an eye roll, right, or crossed arms. Maybe you start looking at your cell phone or something, right? And then have them offer corrections or say, this is what you did well, this is what you could have done better or should have done. Sit or stand with good posture, make eye contact, nod your head from time to time, show you're following the speaker's points, relax your face into a gentle smile to show you're open to the message. Avoid looking at your phone or doing other things. Being willing to learn. To be successful at work, one should be willing to learn and adaptable. But what exactly does this mean and how does one do it? Now, for this part of the lesson, you could call on a few students to read, stopping them to ask questions and discuss. Right? Being willing to learn sounds easy enough, but sometimes it can be challenging. So it might go something like this. You must be able to admit that you don't know everything. Okay. Well, who here knows, and you have a react icon. You should have it, I think it's at the bottom of your screen, but there should be a little react icon that you can click on. And we're going to use that now with the thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up if you know someone whose response to everything you tried to teach is, I know. I know, I know, I know. I know. That's a lot of thumbs. Right? But don't we get it all the time? Right? I know. Okay, maybe we choose another reader at this point. You might feel that you should know how to do something already, or you might feel that everyone else knows, and this might stop you from asking questions, right? Thumbs up if you've ever felt this way. Gee, I don't want to ask because I should know this already. Oh, you know what? I think I'm probably the only one in the room. Everybody else knows this. I'm not gonna be the one to raise my hand. Sure, right? We all start from a point of ignorance. There's a hard word that a lot of people use in very negative fashion, right? That's a good way to get a fat lip or a black eye. Call someone ignorant. But what does the word ignorance actually mean? We all start from a point of ignorance or not knowing. Simply put, a lack of information, lack of awareness. It's not knowing. That's all it means. But simply not knowing something doesn't make a person an idiot. After all, you don't know what you don't know, right? So why do people pretend to know everything or be unwilling to ask questions? Give me a reason in the chat. Why? Why pretend to know everything? Why be unwilling to ask?
To save face. They're insecure. They don't want to be seen as stupid, afraid to look dumb. It makes them seem vulnerable. Otherwise, arrogance.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I would be so bold as to say that a lot of times this is based on past experiences, right? Sure, some could be pridefulness, but often it's based on past experiences. Thumbs in the air if you've ever had a teacher, maybe that teacher is a parent, who has said to you, "Are you kidding? You seriously don't? I've told, how many times have I told you that? I can't believe, were you even paying attention? Oh my goodness." This is like review. We've gone over this at least 20 times. And that kind of shaming, even if the intention is good, how can the intention be good? I think it's just exasperation, frustration on the teacher's part. But oh my goodness, want to shut down a student from ever asking another question? There's a good way to do it. And yet I have to ask myself, gosh, have I done that in the past myself? I don't know. We need to charge this phone, folks. Are we good with what you see here on this slide? We need to charge the phone. Give me a thumbs up if we're good. Is there a thumbs down? I didn't check.
There's this O face.
Oh, the O face. That works. Sure. All right. Well, then if we got that O face, what do we need? Put it in the chat. What's missing here? Why are we not good?
So the power block, the plug, the power converter, the adapter, some way to connect to the outlet.
There's the word that I was looking for. And there it is. The point that we're making here, and I would encourage you, if you do this, bring in your phone and charger, do this exercise and show it, use this realia to make a very clear example for your students. We need to be adaptable. We need to adapt. Being adaptable means being willing and able to change as situations change. And I think this is a great example because this particular adapter has two different ports as well, right? So, ready to change. Nina is a server in a cafe. As you read, think about how she can adapt and be willing to learn. So, her boss changed the software the cafe uses to take orders. He shows all the servers how to use the new software, and after the training, asks if anyone has questions. Mina's coworkers say they don't have any, but Mina has several. She's afraid to ask them because she's worried that her coworkers will think she isn't smart. Here, I would ask students to share possible solutions. What could Mina do, right? What could she do to show that she is adaptable and willing to learn? And you could dig into the situation by asking some questions. Do you think her coworkers understood everything? I mean, it says that when he asked if anyone has questions, her coworkers said they didn't have any. Do you think they understood everything? What will her boss think if she asks questions? What will happen if she doesn't ask questions and then makes mistakes and her boss finds out, right? So you can explore and drill deeper into these exercises and questions and really bring out some rich, juicy discussion here, right? Know your learning style or styles. There are different types of learning, different ways to learn. Different methods work better for different people. It can be helpful to identify which methods you prefer so you can do your best learning. I think this is really important to go over with students. Listen to these descriptions and type your answer in the chat. You prefer listening to instructions over reading them. When you read to yourself, you read out loud. You like to talk through procedures, repeating what you learn. Sounds like you're what type of learner? Visual, auditory, kinesthetic, also known as tactile, or reading and writing style?
Lots of auditory responses.
I would agree. Let's move on. You're a hands-on person who learns best by physically doing things. You're probably a
Aesthetic, kinesthetic, kinesthetic.
Yeah, kinesthetic, tactile. How about this one? You learn best through traditional books, manuals, internet articles, and the like. You are most likely a
Reading and writing, Greg,
Mhm.
for 400, please.
Yeah. Right. And lastly, you're a list maker and a note taker. Pictures and diagrams help you understand better. You might be a
Visual learner.
Sure. At work, you may not always get to use your favorite learning method. Sometimes you'll have to be adaptable, not just in what you're learning, but in how you're learning it. However, there might be times when you can choose your own learning method. And if you know which methods work for you, you can choose the ones that will help you the most. Right? Give me a hand in the air if you are a visual learner. Hand in the air. Thumbs up, rather.
We've got some people
clapping.
raising their hands now,
Well,
too.
I asked for it, didn't I? They're clearly applauding me. There you go. How
Kate
about
makes,
auditory learners?
Kate makes a good point. Many teachers often teach in a style that matches their own learning style.
Thank you, Kate. You stole my thunder, but that's an excellent point. Teachers often teach in a style that mirrors their own, right? Matches their own, I should say. How about kinesthetic learners? Are there any hands-on learners out there? That's me all day long. I got to do it for myself before it makes any sense. Yeah. And lastly, reading and writing. Any reading and writing learners? I really want to see it on paper. Okay. Trick question. It's not a trick question. Are there any of you who are both kinesthetic and visual, auditory, reading and writing, kinesthetic, visual, auditory, multiple learners? Yeah. Yeah. Something important to know about yourself, something very important to know about your students, right? Especially helpful if it's one-on-one, but even if you have a classroom full and you know that the majority of them, your instruction resonates when it's delivered a certain way, right? And then we could revisit Mina with our students, have them consider these questions and share their thoughts, right? If Mina is a reading and writing learner, what might help her to better understand and use the new software? What if she's a tactile learner? What if she's an auditory learner? What if she's a visual learner, right? And lastly, we should also be aware that there are interpersonal and intrapersonal learners. Interpersonal learners thrive on communication and interaction. Intrapersonal learners do better on their own, at least initially, right? If you're an interpersonal learner, right? That's thriving on communication and interaction, then give me a thumbs up. Share that with everyone. Interpersonal learners. Got a few. Here they come. Okay. If you're an intrapersonal learner who does better on your own, well, just keep your thumb to yourself. It doesn't get funny. I've tried that several times. It's just not that funny. Let's keep moving. Being responsible. Being a pet owner is a job. Being a parent is a job. Being a car owner is a job. And every job comes with responsibilities, right? Performing duties or tasks. To perform these tasks, you have to understand what you're expected to do, right? What are your job expectations? So let's say you own a dog. What are your job expectations, dog owners? Post one in the chat.
Feed the dog, walk, play with the dog, train the dog.
Good, good. Sure.
Get up early and clean up the dog's mess.
Okay. How about for parents or caretakers of children? What are your job expectations?
Pretty much all the same. Someone also said pray.
Absolutely.
And keep them safe.
And car owners, what kind of responsibilities, job expectations, duties, responsibilities do they have?
Insurance, maintenance. Check the oil.
Nice.
And understand driving rules.
Also good. Great. It's important that we understand our expectations, and they may differ from job to job. However, whether you're a professional athlete, an electrician, a cosmetologist, bus driver, one job expectation they all have is that I'll give you a hint. Can anyone guess?
You be on time.
There it goes. There it is. Punctuality is very important, right? Be on time. Be punctual. Being punctual makes all parts of your life easier, not just work. Allow extra time to get where you need to be. You won't have to worry about being late. This can help you have less stress, and others will appreciate not having to wait for you. When you are punctual, people see you as, throw me some adjectives, folks. When you're punctual, people see you as what?
Responsible, reliable, dependable, caring.
Reliable. Absolutely. Responsible. Any others? Respectful. Professional. Conscientious. Right? Good ideas. Next comes meeting your job expectations. Once you know what to do it, right? You're responsible for doing your job. Imagine you work at the Sloppy Joe Diner. Your daily responsibilities include washing the dishes, mopping the floors, cleaning the bathrooms, taking out the garbage. Perform your job to meet or do better than your employees' expectations. You'll earn a good rep and it'll help you in the future. Anything worth doing is worth doing
well.
Sure. What is doing a good job? Here's where you could go beyond, right? Drill deeper. What does doing a good job washing the dishes look like? What does that look like? Doing a good job washing the dishes, right? What does a good job mopping the floors look like? Right? Maybe using clean water, wringing out the mop frequently. Maybe making sure to use one of those cones or a sign that says wet floor, right? Caution. Right? What does a good job cleaning the bathrooms look like? Right? I was traveling last week and drove to Plymouth, Massachusetts and back from Syracuse, New York. I can tell you what some bad jobs of cleaning the bathrooms look like. What does a good job of taking out the garbage look like? Well, who can mess up taking out the garbage? Oh my.
Some great answers. Be efficient. No one has to do it again after you do it, and have a good attitude about it.
Fantastic responses. Absolutely. Right? An attitude? That's doing your work well? Sure. No one has to do it again. Beautiful. Beautiful. How about this? Manage your time to finish your work on time. Sometimes there are unexpected occurrences at work that interrupt our routine, right? They throw us off schedule. For example, at Sloppy Joe's, it might be a dropped glass breaking in the dining area that disrupts, right? Maybe it's an overflowing toilet. Didn't see that coming, right? But we've got to deal with it. However, often we don't complete our work on time due to a lack of what? I'll let you buy a vowel.
Time management, organization,
Give you another.
plan, teamwork, initiative.
I'll give you another.
Self-discipline.
There it is. Self-discipline, right? So important. While some employers don't allow cell phone use at work, except during lunch or scheduled break, many do, right? They're more lax. Self-discipline applies. If there are no rules, every time your personal phone vibrates or dings, you may want to check it. Don't. Right? When you check your phone, it interrupts your work and focus. Then it takes longer to do your job. That can affect quality and timeliness. Set your phone on silent while you're at work. Check it when you're on break. Right? Studies have revealed that most employees spend how much time in a regular 7.5, 8-hour workday on their phones? Any guesses? Studies have revealed that most employees, spend on average how much time on their phone per day?
We've got 1/4 of the time to 1/3 of the time for people talking percents. We've got 1 hour up to 6 hours for people talking hours.
Yeah, very, very, very good, very good. Yeah, yeah. Actually, between 1 to 2 hours for a 7.5 hour workday. Yeah, so over a quarter of the time. And what do you think they're doing? What do people do all day on their phones? They must be researching how to do their job better. I'm sure that's it.
Facebook, doom scrolling, social media, texting.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Another
can't,
major distraction and time waster at work is often chat.
chatting with coworkers.
There it is. And again, the solution, self-discipline. There's nothing wrong with chatting with your coworkers unless it's idle gossip, they're long, unscheduled breaks, right? It's at the expense of a customer. How many times have I been waiting in line with my groceries only to wait another 30 to 45 seconds so that two of the people, right, could finish their conversation before starting to bag my groceries and continued to talk while they did it. So, so frustrating. Completing your tasks doesn't just affect your job, though, does it? It can impact others' jobs as well. Think about your coworkers and their jobs. How might your work affect their duties? Let this help motivate you to finish your work on time. Type 3 words in the chat for me that explain this photo and concept. 3 words.
All I'm getting is ripple effect.
There you go. And I'll accept
The,
two. Ripple effect, the ripple effect, big ripple effect,
okay.
tidal ripple effect. I don't know. The ripple effect. Let's bring this to life, right? We need students to be able to relate to this. You could, in pairs or trios in the classroom, choose one of these scenarios. Have the students choose one of these scenarios and in pairs or trios, be ready to share an example of the ripple effect. You could give them maybe 5 minutes to create their disaster, right? But together, we together can do this. You're a cook at the Sloppy Joe Diner. Okay, you walk in 15 minutes late for the breakfast shift. What's the ripple effect? Who else does this affect? Give me something in the chat. Cooks, you're only 15 minutes late. What's the big deal?
Customers, coworkers, someone else had to cover for you. The person from the last shift couldn't leave.
Awesome. Great. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah. Yeah, maybe the customers are angry and they take it out on the wait staff. No tip, right? Maybe some of them are late for work. The other person couldn't leave on time, couldn't pick her daughter up in time or drop her daughter off at school, whatever. Sure. Okay, you're a TSA agent at the airport. You show up 15 minutes late for your shift. Come on, 15 minutes. Chat, what are the repercussions?
People miss their flights.
Mm,
Tony said a bomb goes off.
I mean, it's an extreme situation, but maybe the other agents get careless because they're trying to speed the process and they miss something. I mean, that's a worst case scenario, but oh my goodness.
Jennifer says in Newark it would cause a 3-hour delay.
Newark. Oh, I get it. Okay, last one. You're a nurse practitioner and you come back from lunch 15 minutes late.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing. Um, one person said it just makes everyone else later on their schedule. Another person said, someone dies.
Again, extreme situations, but maybe that person's sitting up there and just finishing a stress test. Who knows? Who knows?
One person said the doctor might actually have to do something.
I
think we went off the rails a little. Sorry.
Clearly that person has been to my hospital, my doctor. Okay. So the Career Power series moves students toward independent learning, and it does it with a somewhat simplified gradual release of responsibility, or what's commonly known as the I do, we do, you do instructional model, right? The skills are introduced uh, first by the teacher leading, that's the I do it, and while the students are observing, right? You can still make this interactive, of course, but it's the teacher who takes the lead, explaining and giving examples, right? Modeling. Then it's the we do with the teacher guiding, but now the students are participating more as they do these things together. And lastly, it's flipped so that the students are more at the forefront, learning, practicing independently or in teams, groups, pairs, while the teacher floats and monitors, right? And that's our gradual release of responsibility instructional framework. Career Power uses this, and the skills are introduced using scenarios from current in-demand occupations, and they're modeled through examples, followed by guided practice, and finally, independent practice. There it is, right? Introduced, explained and modeled, guided practice, independent practice. At least 2 different occupations and industries are modeled in each lesson. And there are marginal features, some which we saw as we walked through these, that connect the skill to other jobs or careers. Maybe they're tips on job seeking, or that connect the skills to the job search process. So very hands-on, very friendly, very easy to use. Also in the Career Power is the Teacher's Guide. And this is an invaluable resource. In the Teacher's Guide, you'll find standards covered in each lesson. They can include standards from the College Career Readiness standards, English language proficiency standards, work keys, and CASAS competencies. You'll find a list of skills that the students should have before they start each lesson. In some cases, there are references to previous lessons that are provided, right? Background information tells instructors what they need to know about the concepts and skills they'll be teaching. Support and suggestions for each phase of instruction, right? The I do, the we do, and the you do. There are in the Teacher's Guide activities for small and large groups. And I love this, differentiated instruction support for classes with English language learners, with struggling learners for whatever reason, and for students who may need advanced skill work as well. So the Teacher's Guide is robust, but again, easy to use is a key point. I really like it. We're almost out of time. You can learn more about the Career Power and other great resources by visiting our website. In fact, if you have time, we have like 2 minutes left. Stick with me for just a couple more minutes and I'll take you there to show you where you can find the table of contents for each of these books, where you can find the sample pages, correlations that we talked about to work keys, to CASAS, competencies, college career readiness standards, pricing, and more. Let me go to, okay, I stopped sharing. Let me go to our website. And I want to show you. So here it is, newreaderspress.com, and it's under workforce readiness, career power. You can type that in the search bar as well, right? So career power, and here you can see pricing information, details, and description. You can click on look inside when you get to this. This is the workplace skills book. Click on look inside. You can open that up and make it bigger. And here you have the table of contents. We just scratched the surface today, but here you have lessons on communication skills, interpersonal skills, teamwork, problem solving and critical thinking, work ethic, using technology at work. There's a post test with an answer key in the back and a glossary, right? And then you can view sample pages. You can see call outs, skills tips, workplace connections in the margins, right? Think aloud features for guided practice, right? Now we have independent practice, lesson reviews. It is truly an easy to use resource. And now I can't seem to move my bar and make this go away. Go away. There's a post test.
Escape.
Oh, I can escape. Thank you.
Did that work?
It did.
Cool.
And if we scroll down lower on the page, we see that there are free resources. We actually have a crosswalk to another one of our great series, our WorkWise series, which is written at a higher reading level, but has many of the same skills and strategies. And here we have a crosswalk that says, you know what, use career power in concert, in tandem, and you can go back and forth for more ideas. Click on correlations, and here you can open this up and it'll show correlations to the college career readiness standards, CASAS, work keys. Open that up as well. And it will give correlations, and not only to the workplace skills book, but to the other books, the reading, writing, and math skills books for career power. And you can find all this on our website. You can also contact your sales rep. Here at the top, find your sales rep and ask your sales rep for more information.
And one person wanted you to restate the reading level.
Oh, yes, thank you. Again, it's an NRS 3. It's a reading level 4 or 5. I've had some of my customers say, gosh, Greg, you say 4 or 5. I'm thinking more 5 to 6. We have it as a reading level 4 to 5, but some of my customers personally said our students found it a bit more challenging, maybe more a 5, 6. But what was unanimous so far, this first year, is that they all saw it as a very useful and robust resource. Folks, that's all the time that we have. I want to thank you for joining me today. I want to thank you for your participation. I hope this was useful and fun as well. But I hope that you're taking away some tips and strategies and some ideas with you. We look forward to hearing from you. And I'd like to end on this note by saying thank you for what you do in the classrooms, for what you do one-on-one with your learners. That's a big deal, and you are greatly appreciated. Keep doing what you're doing. Have a great rest of the week. We hope to see some of you at our ProLiteracy conference in Baltimore next week. But until next time and our next webinar, Greg Stultz signing off. Have a blessed rest of the week.